The modern world is designed to kill your creativity. And even worse than that, you don't even realize it's happening. If you've ever felt like your creativity is fading, this is why, and this is what you can do about it. So you want to create, but you feel stuck, overwhelmed, drained, and your best ideas never come when you need them. That's because modern habits like social media, instant gratification, and constant noise are rewiring our brains to do the opposite. It literally works against creativity, and it can feel like it sucks the life force out of you. And that's why you have no energy left to actually create. Because a lot of the time, really good creative ideas come from when your brain doesn't have any stimulation or information coming into it. They come out of nowhere when there's space for ideas to be generated. The truth is, creativity goes against the way the modern world is built. So why does the world make it so hard to be creative, and what can we do about it? In this video, I'm going to go over the 3 main creativity killers of the modern world and how you can break free of them. Hey creators, Aimon here. Through creativity, I've generated millions of views, millions in revenue, and I'm currently living my dream creative life. This is where I help creators find clarity, purpose, and profit. The first way that creativity goes against the way the world works is because the world is all about optimization, speed, and efficiency. It's all about making money in the quickest way possible, and creativity is none of those things. Creativity is more random. If you think back to all of the very old school creators, everyone kind of thought they were crazies. They all did really weird things. They were cooped up in their houses, painting and doing all different things, right? And everybody kind of thought they were weird. They weren't really understood. And I mean, what's really changed? From there, the Industrial Revolution created a schooling system which was all about preparing people for the workforce. So school, work, and society rewards predictability, right? It's not about exploration. It was always learn this and be ready for the test, so that you can remember this information. And when the test comes, we'll test you on how much you can remember and do repeatable tasks over and over again. And a lot of the workforce, especially in the modern world, is pretty much the same. So, hey, sit in this desk and run this process over and over again, no matter how boring it is, because that's what makes us money. And what's really scary about all this as well is that obviously AI coming in is going to be able to run a lot of those processes that people have been taught to run, which is why creativity and creative thinking is more important than ever. And if you think about it, all of the successful people ever used creativity to get where they want to go. Obviously, traditional creatives like rock stars and, videographers and all that sort of stuff, you have to think outside the box. You have to capture and have ideas and generate those ideas and communicate those ideas through an art form, right? But even entrepreneurs, if you think about that, like a lot of people that make a lot of money doing something unique, they had to come up with a creative idea to actually present that idea to the marketplace, refine that idea, and there's no systematized way to go about that. It's all creativity. So in short, creativity thrives on uncertainty and deep work, but modern systems kill both of those things. The second thing is the world pushes down your creativity. Modern habits don't just ignore creativity, they actually work against it. Have you ever noticed that you come up with your best creative ideas when you are either in the shower, on a nice afternoon walk with no technology, when you're meditating, when you're trying to go to sleep, right? Especially as a creative person myself, I know that when I'm trying to go to sleep, all of my ideas are attacking my brain and I'm like, hey dude, I'm trying to sleep. But that's because of all of these creativity killers I'm about to tell you. The first one is constant notifications. Now, if you can turn off as many of these as you can, it's going to be to your advantage because we just get absolutely bombarded with these on a day-to-day basis. And it's just not necessary to receive at least half of them. So jump into your iPhone, jump into whatever phone you have and turn off as many notifications as you can. Just as Johann Hari quotes in his latest book, I think he says it's about 22 minutes on average it takes you to get back to doing a task when you are distracted, right? And if we're getting distracted so many times on a day-to-day basis, where is that space for creativity and creative ideas to come through? The second big one is doom scrolling. I know I don't want to hear it either because this is the hardest one to master. It literally has a grip on your life, doesn't it? But adding app limitations, there's a few blocking apps out there. And one of my clients that I work with even has a little brick that he just leaves at home, taps his phone, and it blocks particular apps for the day. So there are some really cool solutions to this problem. So one of the biggest things for me personally is actually having a really tidy home screen. As you can see, I've only got one layer of apps there. I've got my screen time and then my mission statement underneath it. It always scares me when I see people's iPhone and they scroll through and they've got wall-to-wall heaps of apps. Like, how do you actually stay focused? Because there's so many distractions at your fingertips. So that's a huge one. So see if you can tidy up your home screen a little bit, and adding grayscale is actually huge as well. It just makes your phone so much less appealing. Third creativity killer is a fear of failure or perfectionism, right? Now, I think we can all kind of identify with this a little bit, especially if you identify with being creative, because everybody out there is obviously showing off their best lives on Instagram, on YouTube, all of that stuff. So it's really hard to want to be creative and release your ideas because your brain's so aggressively attacking those ideas, saying it's not good enough, saying it's not where you want it to be. But hey, if you look at my YouTube channel from 10 years ago, you'll see it's pretty cringe. And the thing is, you have to get through the cringiness to get to where you want to go. And the only way you're going to do that is by actually releasing creative work. Seth Godin calls it shipping work. And you have to just be constantly shipping work, shipping creative work. And that's how you're going to get better. That's how you're going to be less critical of your own creative work. And that's how you're going to get over this idea of perfectionism. You know, for me, trying to get something to that 80% point, and if the next 20% is going to take me a year, just release it as is, because it's better to be released than it is to be absolutely perfect and sitting on a hard drive where it's never coming out. And finally, the pressure to monetize everything is everywhere. And it's an easy trap to fall into as a creative. Obviously, there's an element of why am I doing this if I'm not going to get an outcome? And don't get me wrong, my brain works like that a lot as well. Now, if you are genuinely keen to make money creatively, then obviously be self-aware and choose a path that's going to get you there, right? Provide a creative service to people that have money to pay for it, such as a real estate media company like I own. But I actually think the most beautiful and raw expression of creativity is when there isn't a need for anything to be on top of it. You're just expressing it because that's the most fulfilling thing to do in the moment. And although it's really, really hard to wrap your hand around, because again, capitalism is drilling into you that you need to make money and have side hustles and do all these different things, right? But regardless of whether you're creating for an outcome or not for an outcome, chances are you might need another set of eyes to look at your creative work to help you with the direction of your creative project. And that's why I created the Creator Audit. At the moment, it's currently free. I will make a video personalized for you to help you on your creative journey and analyze all of the things that you need to help you get where you need to go. I'm on a mission this year to help as many creators as I can, and that's why this is free for now. So if you would like your free creator audit, just click the link below. There's a couple of other really cool free tools for creators there as well. In short, consumption is prioritized over creation. And I know it's really easy to fall into consumption, but if you can put some limitations in the way to make it a little bit harder to just fall into that consumption, to leave more space for creation, that's how you're going to be able to create more and lean more towards your dream creative life. The world won't make space for you to create. You have to take it. So what do you do about all these things? How do you fight back and reclaim your creativity? How do you stay creative in a world that's built against you? Here's a few practical solutions for you. Firstly, try a rule where you create before you consume. Whether you get home from work and you have a block, or you do it before work, or however your day is structured, before you allow yourself the time to just chill out, play video games, watch Netflix, scroll on your phone, whatever consumption you want to do, it's not that you're cutting that off, but just saying, before I do that, I have to create. And that just allows you some space, and then you're rewarded later by you actually doing the creative work that you want to do. Secondly, schedule in creative time like it's your job, because the world's not going to do this for you. And the easiest way that works for me is that I actually lay out everything I do on my Google Calendar, and I try and have that open as often as possible, right? So from like 6 to 8, it's like breakfast, go to the gym, 9 to 5, whenever it is, that's when I'm focusing on my business. And then from 5 to 9 and weekends, Friday afternoons, that's when I'm focusing on creating social content, creating YouTube content, scripting YouTube videos, producing music. And I try and do that for at least an hour before I let myself off to do whatever else I want to do. Thirdly, embrace boredom. Creativity kind of comes in between the distractions. It happens when there is space. So whether you decide to just hang out on your deck for half an hour after work, to just allow your mind to spit all these different thoughts and ideas into reality, that's creating space to allow for creativity. And oftentimes when I do things like that, whether I'm sitting down trying to meditate and then I just have a creative idea, I end up pursuing that creative idea almost immediately, right? And then even though maybe I wanted to chill, I'm kind of re-energized and I end up doing more creative work than I wanted to do. Creativity isn't dead. It's just buried. And it's your job to dig it back up. To recap, the world isn't just going to hand you creativity. You have to fight for it because everything's built against you, unfortunately. So what's one modern habit that you think is killing your creativity, and what are you going to do about it?